DETV News is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service. Moving forward.
Tonight, Thanksgiving travel chaos. A dump truck crash turns an I-95 into a parking lot on one of the busiest travel days of the year. Plus, sticker shock ahead for beachgoers. A new rental tax could make vacations more expensive next summer. And will rain dampen your holiday plans? DETV's Shakara Denise has your Thanksgiving forecast. And Nick Alessandrini is in the house with the matchups you don't want to miss this holiday weekend. Those stories and much more straight ahead tonight on DETV News. Good evening and welcome to this DETV News Brief for Wednesday, November 27th. I'm Matt Ford. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. Here's what's making headlines today across the first state. DETV founder Ivan Thomas delivered on his promise of continuing a 41-year tradition, a tradition of not just food, but also of hope and connection. Hey there, Delaware. DETV News' Matt Ford here, and we're coming to you from stop number 2 of Stop 16 on the second annual Big Ives Turkey Drive as we carry out Ivan Thomas's mission to make sure that no Delawarean goes hungry this Thanksgiving. Here's what we're doing. Today, we are going throughout the state of Delaware, stopping at 16 senior living facilities and Boys and Girls Clubs of Delaware to deliver 3,000 turkeys for one mission: to make sure that no Delawarean goes hungry this Thanksgiving. The annual event continues the legacy of Norman Oliver's Wilmington Thanksgiving giveaway, which provided 250,000 turkeys over 40 years. This year's drive, organized by Ivan and his wife Catrice, introduced several changes to better serve residents. Instead of delivering a fixed number of turkeys per building, the program aimed to provide every single resident in each apartment complex.
A lot of the seniors here can't get out. A lot of the seniors here don't have the financial means to go out and buy turkeys. So this is a wonderful thing. It's brought to our facility. It's free, so we can have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
The Divine Nine organizations returned to provide side dishes for one housing complex, and the Food Bank of Delaware joined as a new partner, supplying turkeys alongside a longtime supporter DART First State, which provided buses for distribution. Other supporters showed up in full force, from Governor John Carney, Governor-elect Matt Meyer, Congresswoman Lisa Blunt-Rochester, Senator Chris Coons, and Congresswoman-elect Sarah McBride, who said this is one holiday tradition she looks forward to each year.
My heart is full of gratitude this morning because I get to be with all of you. I get to be with all of these amazing volunteers. My heart is full of gratitude this morning because the words that have been on my mind over the last couple of days have been grace and goodness. And today we see grace and goodness on full display. We see grace and goodness in the folks in these towers and elsewhere that we get to visit. The grace and goodness that you have shown every single day in your lives, with the neighbors that you've cared for, with the families that you've raised, with the jobs that you have done to make this state better. Grace and goodness with the volunteers who are out on this rainy morning to spread the joy and gratitude of Thanksgiving with turkeys. And that is, I think, what we need moving forward here in this state of neighbors.
The event began early Monday morning at the 76ers Fieldhouse in Wilmington, where turkeys were transferred from refrigerated trucks to delivery vehicles. Then on Tuesday, the YMCA's color guard set a festive tone, leading the morning procession. Turkeys were then delivered to senior housing complexes across the state of Delaware, as well as Boys and Girls Clubs in Milford, Seaford, Georgetown, Dover, and Smyrna. Ivan ended the day's events echoing the sentiment that we here at DETV are more than just a network of communication. We're a lifeline. We see a better Delaware, and we keep pushing to lift our community higher every day. In other headlines tonight, Thanksgiving Eve traffic here in Delaware turned into a gridlock after a dump truck driving with its bed raised struck the Route 141 bridge this morning on I-95. The crash, which also involved a second truck swerving into a marsh, led to hours-long closure of major routes. Crews worked quickly, however, reopening I-95 by 10 a.m., though repairs to damaged guardrails and the Route 141 bridge will continue. A DelDOT spokesman called the crash, quote, "one heck of a mess." on one of the busiest travel days of the year as AAA predicted record-breaking Thanksgiving travel across the country. And if the stress of the holidays has you yearning for your next vacation, well, you may want to turn away for this next story. Vacationers planning to stay in Delaware short-term rental properties next year should prepare for higher cost. A new 4.5% tax increase on rentals like Airbnb and Vrbo will go into effect on January 1st, adding to already existing rental taxes. For example, a $400 per night rental booked for 5 nights will cost you an additional $90 under this new tax. The jump has sparked mixed reactions, with some calling it sticker shock and others saying that they would have expected something like this to be implemented gradually instead of all at once. Rehoboth's rental tax will effectively rise from 3% to 7.5%, a significant shift for a popular tourism destination. Again, that tax is set to take effect on January 1st of 2025, giving renters and property owners time to adjust before it becomes a permanent part of planning your summer Delaware beach vacation. And speaking of the popular tourist town, Rehoboth Beach Commissioner Don Preston has stepped down after just 1 year on the job. In an email to Mayor Stan Mills on November 20th, Preston said he was resigning effective immediately, citing a lack of progress toward his goals for the city. He wrote, quote, "I had high hopes for elevating our city, but after more than a year, I don't see a path to my high hopes," end quote. Preston, who missed recent commission meetings, declined for further comment. Mayor Mills thanked him for his service and said the city will work to fill the vacancy as required by code. Up here to Newcastle County now, while County Executive-elect Marcus Henry has appointed Mona Parikh as Chief Administrative Officer. Parikh, previously Wilmington City Council's Chief of Staff, brings leadership experience in government and Delaware's startup ecosystem. Henry praised her community ties and expertise. She replaces Vanessa Phillips, who joins Governor-elect Matt Meyer's administration. Parikh will oversee county operations and budgeting in her new role. Switching gears now, state police are investigating a fatal motorcycle crash that claimed the life of 51-year-old Henry Mast of Camden, Wyoming, Delaware. The accident occurred late Sunday morning on Shaw's Corner Road near Seneytown Road. Mast's Harley-Davidson motorcycle veered off the road on a sharp curve, stopping at a grass embankment. He was transported to a hospital where he later died. Witnesses are urged to contact authorities with any information. And a Middletown man faces charges following his 11th DUI arrest. Newcastle County Police say 53-year-old James Thorpe allegedly rear-ended a patrol vehicle on Bayview Road at Route 13 before fleeing. The officer followed Thorpe to a Wawa parking lot, observing signs of impairment. Thorpe, with 9 prior DUI convictions, was arrested and charged with multiple felonies. He remains in custody on a $36,200 bail. The officer involved was uninjured. State police have also arrested 32-year-old David Frazier of Lincoln, Delaware for multiple felonies following a hit and run involving a stolen car. Frazier reportedly stole a delivery truck, struck a BMW at a red light, and fled recklessly, spilling packages behind him. He abandoned the truck and was caught nearby. Charges include reckless endangerment and vehicle theft. No injuries were reported. Frazier remains in custody tonight on a $42,000 cash bond. Police are also investigating a shooting that happened Monday on John Clark Road. Authorities say an argument between 4 men escalated to gunfire shortly after midnight, striking an unoccupied house. No injuries were reported here. Numerous shell casings were recovered, and the suspects ran away on foot. Police urge anyone with information to contact Delaware Crime Stoppers. That number is 1-800-847-3333. Of course, as always, tips can remain anonymous. And a Georgia inmate and 8 others face federal charges for a $3.5 million fraud scheme. Prosecutors allege 43-year-old Assad Amir Hussan, who also goes by the name Dante Frederick, orchestrated the whole operation from prison, exploiting families of fellow inmates. Hassan allegedly promised legal aid, safety, and investments while laundering money and property. The U.S. Attorney's Office indicted Hussan and 8 Brunswick, Georgia residents. Charges include money laundering, wire fraud, and extortion. Authorities urge potential victims to contact the FBI Baltimore field office. U.S. Attorney David Weiss vowed to hold offenders accountable, prioritizing justice for those who were defrauded. In other news tonight, salty ocean water is creeping up the Delaware River, threatening drinking water for millions in the greater Philadelphia area. A northeast drought and rising sea levels push the salt line, where ocean water meets fresh water 20 miles upstream near Philly International Airport. Officials say drinking water remains safe, but they are releasing reservoir water to push salt back downstream. Desalination isn't a viable option due to high costs and challenges. The salt line, this high in 2016, highlights growing climate threats. Experts warn more rain and conservation efforts are critical to safeguard future water supplies. And in related news, an emergency dredge project is underway at Delaware Seashore State Park's north side. It's addressing severe erosion from an August storm. Nearly 380,000 cubic yards of sand will rebuild the beach and dunes, protecting coastal highway and nearby infrastructure. The $15 million state-funded project, supported by Senator Carper, aims to restore the area before a federal phase in 2025. Beach access at this time is restricted due to the work, with completion expected later this year, per DENREC. And Delaware's outdoor burn ban, enacted back on October 15th due to record-breaking dry conditions, has now been lifted. The state fire marshal announced this earlier this week. You may remember October marked Wilmington and Georgetown's driest month in history, with no measurable rainfall. Fire Marshal John Rudd thanked residents of Delaware and first responders for the cooperation. Now, while Delaware remains under a drought watch, upcoming rain is expected to alleviate those conditions. Residents are reminded to follow safety guidelines, of course, when burning outdoors. And with the burn ban lifted and conditions slowly improving, let's turn now to our Shakara Denise for a closer look at the forecast and what may be in store for the Thanksgiving weekend. Hey there, Shakara.
DETV News Weather is brought to you by Real Life Prosthetics. Live life fully with Real Life Prosthetics. Your ability is our mission. Hey, Matt. Well, we are going to have a wet Thanksgiving, but we will be eating lots indoors, so that means everything's perfectly fine. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and happy November. We have a few days left. Shout out to all the November birthdays. Happy birthday, Mom, November 30th. So just wanted to make sure I said happy birthday. We are looking at rain throughout with a high of 51 degrees. It will be cloudy and damp, then becoming partly cloudy later in the day. Now, clouds will give way to clear skies in the evening with temps around 32 degrees. For Feel Good Friday, after the Thanksgiving turkey coma we will all be in, we are looking at a high of 42 degrees. Expect some rain and snow in the morning and throughout the afternoon. We will also have some higher than normal wind gusts, so be prepared if you are out shopping for those Black Friday deals. In the evening, we will still have some showers, then partly cloudy skies overnight with a low of 30 degrees. On Saturday, it will be mostly cloudy and windy with a high of 47 degrees. You can expect those higher wind gusts again as we move towards the evening. Winds will die down and temps will be in the 20s. And on Sunday, the weekend closes with decreasing clouds and a high of 40. And in the evening, temperatures will dip to 25, which means Sunday to be the best day for hanging out those holiday decorations. Now, let's gobble up some holiday happenings around Delaware. Glasgow-based Autumn Arch will host the Bruising Bash to Holiday Edition, hosted by Delaware's own craft beer-themed podcast, Bruising Banter. This trio consists of Lou Belgium Cheatwood, Robert Rob G. Gunter, and Joshua 302 Yoda Gunter. The ticketed event runs Saturday, December 14th from 6 to 10, and expect a festive celebration filled with unlimited 5-ounce pours of craft beers, snacks, and music by DJ Redlaw. There'll also be an ugly sweater contest with prizes for the winners, raffles, and holiday movie-themed trivia dubbed Who All Gonna Be There. Ticket costs range from $45 to $55 and can be purchased at eventbrite.com. Now, if you enjoyed Christmas lights, you definitely want to check out the Festival of Lights at Delaware Park. This is an outdoor free event with a family-friendly light display and holiday market featuring food and beverage specials, photo opportunities, holiday vendors, and pictures with Santa. The Festival of Lights is held every Friday and Saturday night from November 29th through December 21st. Now, bundle up, embrace the holiday magic, and let's make this Thanksgiving weekend unforgettable. Back to you, Matt.
Shakara, sounds good. Always keeping us up to date with the best events around. Thank you so much. In other news, this Thanksgiving Eve, Newark is moving forward as a competitive hub for recreational marijuana in Delaware. This following the approval of 2 key ordinances at this week's City Council meeting. The council updated the city code to align with state law, allowing adult recreational use, and approved a special use permit for Fresh Delaware to operate a dispensary with cultivation, manufacturing, and retail. Fresh Delaware, already a medical dispensary, is on track to begin recreational sales by spring 2025. Newark Mayor Jerry Clifton praised the city's timely actions, noting that other areas are lagging behind in establishing marijuana regulations. And Delaware State University has been awarded a $750,000 grant from the U.S. Department of the Interior's National Park Service to renovate the historic Hope House on its downtown Dover campus. The 3-story home listed on the National Historic Registry was built before 1885 and serves as a student programming and social services center. DSU acquired the property through its purchase of Wesley College. Dr. Eleanor Kiesel, Senior Associate Dean, expressed gratitude for the opportunity to restore the house, which has water damage and mold. And while DSU celebrates preserving history, our athletes across the state continue making it on the field. Let's head over to Nick for the latest in sports news. Hey, Nick.
Hey, Matt, thank you very much. And it's finally here, the last week of our fall sports. 4 football state championships will take place this weekend with 4 champions to be crowned. Well, you mentioned Del State. It all gets started there Friday night with the Unified Flag State Championship between #1 Indian River and defending state champs Caesar Rodney at Alumni Stadium, of course, on the campus of Delaware State University. Kickoff is set for 4 p.m. in that first championship game. But following the Unified Flag Championship will be the Class 3A football final between #3 Middletown and #1 and your defending champions Salesianum. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. on the NFHS network. The action will continue on Championship Saturday with your Class 1A state final between #1 Indian River and defending state champs #2 Tattnall. That game will be at Abysinio Stadium here in Wilmington. Kickoff will be at 1 p.m. there. Then wrapping up our fall sports season will be the Class 2A state championship between defending champions #1, the Caravel Buccaneers, and the #3 Red Hot Howard Wildcats. Kickoff for the Class 2A final is set for 6 p.m. That game also at Abysinio Stadium. So again, winter sports are up next, Matt. Basketball, wrestling, track are all officially set to begin their gameplay on December 4th. Our Delaware colleges and universities are already underway with basketball, but high school winter sports are set to begin here shortly. A final congratulations to all of our fall sports champions.
Nick, thank you very much, and best of luck to all those playing this Thanksgiving weekend. Dover Air Force Base personnel shared the state of the base with local officials this week, highlighting the past year's achievements and challenges. Co-hosted by the Central Delaware Chamber of Commerce, the event showcased Dover's pivotal role in global missions, including supporting the war in Ukraine and evacuating U.S. forces from Niger. Commander Colonel Chris McDonald emphasized the base's critical role in these efforts. U.S. Senator Chris Coons underscored Dover's importance as the East Coast's largest aerial port, despite recruitment challenges. 10 service members were honored for exceptional service. Congratulations there. And as a final Thanksgiving note, as the holiday approaches, pet owners are reminded to keep their furry friends safe from hazards. Local animal hospitals warn against feeding pets fatty meats. Raisins, grapes, onions, and sweets, bones, and carcasses should also be disposed of properly. Certain plants like amaryllis and hydrangeas can be toxic to pets. However, they can enjoy safe foods like sweet potatoes, turkey meat, and pumpkin. Veterinarians also advise ensuring pets wear proper identification just in case they were to escape during a holiday gathering. For emergencies, you can contact the ASPCA Poison Control Center. That number, if you want to jot it down, is 1-888-426-4435. Good tips there. And before we sign off tonight, as we gather with loved ones this Thanksgiving holiday, we want to take a moment to say thank you to you for welcoming us each night into your homes and trusting us to bring you the stories, sports, and weather that matter most to you. So let's celebrate this gratitude, community, and the simple joys that bring us together this holiday. From all of us here at DETV, have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. We here are super grateful for you. We'll be right back here next week. Good night.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Stay safe for your turkey bowls tomorrow.
We don't talk about prostate cancer enough, and it's the most diagnosed form of cancer and the second most common cause of cancer death among Black men in both Delaware and the United States. Approximately 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, but just by asking your healthcare provider if you should get a screening could help you detect prostate cancer early and save your life. So let's talk about it. Talk to your healthcare provider today about a prostate cancer screening if you are 40 years of age or older, or have a family history of prostate cancer. If you don't have insurance, or if your insurance doesn't pay for cancer screenings, Screening for Life may provide you with the screenings that you need, and nurse navigators make this process easier. To learn more, visit healthydelaware.org/prostate or call 211. Ask your healthcare provider about a prostate cancer screening, and you're asking for so much more.
My name is Jason Aviles, and I am the founder and owner of Fly Yogi, and I'm here to share with you some tips to be able to help fight opioid addiction. Opioid addiction is a real growing problem here in America, and I'm here to share with you some tips that you can be able to integrate into your everyday life to really fight against opioid addiction. One of the first things is redeveloping your mindset. One of the practices that I like to use daily is meditation. And what meditation does is it brings you clarity of mind, and it helps keep you grounded, and it improves your ability to make decisions that you are going to benefit from. A lot of the time we find that addiction is rooted in our mindset. It's rooted in how we think and how we perceive, and therefore how we act. So this is a really good way to help fight against that energy of addiction. The second thing is improving your lifestyle through diet and exercise. At the very root of addiction, there is substances within the body that's causing the addiction on a physical level. When we begin to introduce healthier foods, plant-based foods, we begin to remove and detox the substances that are in our body that's causing and attracting the addiction. So through incorporating more fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, and even drinking water on a daily basis, you're going to put your body in a state where it's going to be able to fight the root causes of these addictions. The second part is exercise. Exercise is good for mood. It's good for energy. It's good to increase vitality. It's good to get your heart pumping and get your blood flowing and get oxygen moving throughout the body. So through engaging in physical exercise complemented by incorporating healthier foods, you're putting your body and your mind in a state where it does not want what's causing these things that are manifesting negatively in your life. So addiction can really be decreased by just incorporating a healthier lifestyle through diet and nutrition, exercise, and then also making sure that you're tackling the mind through mindset, through meditation.